Hi, and welcome back to another episode of History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, I'm going to get into some really fun things about fan mail. So I went through archives and pulled a whole pile of really cool, letters and requests for dubs and then fan subs and that kind of stuff from back in the day. And I'm starting to sort them out, okay, and put it into the binders and stuff like that to kind of basically, you know, to organize them by name so that when certain names come up, then I might be able to look them up in the index and find out, how I interact with them. But as I'm going along, I'm noticing that there are different categories for these fan mail. So I'm basically going to go through them and go through each one by various different topics. Okay. So before I get into some of the examples and some of the things that are in these mails, I want to remind people to go down below and click like and click subscribe because that helps out the YouTube algorithm, as well as if you have some comments and maybe some stories of your own about when getting started in anime and that kind of stuff. By all means, write it down below. I'd love to hear your story as well. Okay. If you'd like to support me financially, I do have the super thanks button below, so that you can click on that, as well as I do have the PayPal and Patreon links there. I have a whole now up to 15 episodes of subscriber specific content. And there's one now. I've also managed to find a whole pile of other neat things I'm going to go through. I managed to find the hentai catalog that I used to have in my store. So when people come into the store and need their hentai fix, yes, I have an entire binder sorted in alphabetical order for that. So again, one of the episodes I'm going to go through that manually and go through some of the titles and make my recommendations of some of the again, usually when people go through the binder going, hey, is this thing really good? And like, yeah, of course, there's what you got. You got girls that have things with blowing off clothes and tentacles and that kind of stuff. What can be there? That's all the good stuff is all in there. So so anyway, those type of episodes I obviously can't put on YouTube, but I can put it in the subscriber section. So definitely you want to check that out. All right. So today's episode is about fan mail. So basically, back in the day, especially back in the time period, this is 1988 to about 1991 and into the 90s. The concept of getting mail electronically, especially before the internet as we know it, is really, really difficult. A lot of people, on the various different forums and things, always comment that it was very difficult to get anime because if you didn't know somebody, there was really no way to get anime, right? There's, the connections, the basically, if you basically had to know somebody in order to get to be in the know, right? So it's a or a friend of a friend of a friend type of thing, right? In some ways, okay. In other ways, if you manage to get your hands on a source, a lead, okay, then it continues, okay. So basically, in this episode, I want to go through some fan mail, and I want to outline some of the ways that people would have got in touch with me by just the way they wrote their letters, okay. And so I'm going to go through the different examples and show you not only just the various different types of mails I've gotten, but then you can also see where the source of their information is. Because obviously, there is no kind of quote internet, website as it were, right? Because even things like GeoCities and that kind of stuff wasn't invented at this time. There are, the standard poster and flyer type of a distribution, but that only works around Vancouver, right? That's usually used for our Vancouver club meetings and that kind of stuff, around here. But what happens to people who are just, in the middle of nowhere in, Wisconsin or something like that, or Utah? How would you know where to get your anime from? And so we're going to go through some of the examples here of some people that in the past and how they've managed to get anime. All right. So, without further delay, let's look at some fan mail. Okay, so first out was this letter that I did to Lorraine Savage of the Anime Hashin fan club. And they're very significant because they put out a fanzine called The Rose. And not only does it contain lots of information that a normal fanzine at this time has about anime and that kind of stuff, but it also maintains a very large tape trading list, which basically has different people who basically you can get anime from and you can send tapes to get things done. So what I did is I put my name onto this tape trading list, and basically made my subscription down to this Anime Hashin's tape trading list. Okay, then follow this with a letter from a Scott Grossman out of Cliffside Park, New Jersey. And of course he writes, I saw your ad in the issue 33 of The Rose. So again, he basically then was subscribing to this magazine, and he saw the posting that I had for tape trading, and then of course he's interested in getting Maison Kaku, which was his favorite show, and City Hunter, which is his wife's favorite show. So again, I'm sure they enjoyed the tapes that I sent them. Okay, then shortly after, the magazine Protoculture Addicts, which is released out of Quebec, they took the article that was written in The Rose and put it in their magazine. And of course, this magazine is being distributed through all the various different comic book stores and multimedia sort of places that sell like that, that kind of a magazine. And of course, then people then see the ad and then they respond to that. For example, we have this letter from a Kip Marving out of Halling, Minnesota. He writes, first, I'd like to copies of all those things circled, and he of course circled a bunch of things like Orange Road and the Aerial, the Assemble Insert, the Golf Force, the Patlabor, Soul Bianca, Dirty Pair, and the Record of Lotus Wars. And then also he writes at the very end there, lastly, yours is the first address I've gotten for subtitled material. Do you have addresses of other groups or individuals who do this as a labor of love or otherwise? And of course, I did an episode where we were talking about some other fans. Jay Harvey put together a fan subbing directory. So if you wanted more names of people who did fan subs and that kind of stuff, we did this directory. And even when that directory was made in 1997, Arctic Animation still had way more titles than just what everybody else on the list combined. He continues to write, as you might be able to tell, we're almost starving for something to watch here. So this is just an indication of just how hard it was to get anime at this time, because there's so few people had access to that. Okay, now I'm going to take some time to acknowledge some of the people that have put in their orders and just give you an indication of how long and how short and some of the kind of regular letters that I actually really queued to get. First start with a John Epstein out of Washington, D.C., and he gets a City Hunter, a Paul Yan out of Melford, Saskatchewan, and he gets his Golf Force Patlabor movie and Dirty Pair Project Eden. The next one is a Scott Nash out of Fairfax Station, Virginia, and he gets his Record of Lotus Wars. Next one is a Howard Tom out of Montreal, Quebec, and he's asking for some Maison Ikaku as well as the movie, as well as Kokoro Greenwood, or Here's Greenwood. The next one is Andrew Waller out of St. Louis, Missouri. He asks for some more Record of Lotus Wars. The next one is Roy Simpson out of Brownwood, Texas, and he gets his Patlabor movie and some Patlabor OVAs. The next one is a Suk Woo out of Salisbury, Maryland. He's basically really excited to get some more Orange Road. I'm surely one of those animaniacs who really rushed for getting anime. I heard that you guys have subtitled the whole Orange Road series, and I'm so badly wanting to buy them. Next we have a William Benecki out of Boise, Idaho. And he's already ordered Patlabor the movie, plus the P1, P2 series of OVAs, and obviously we've now added more, so now he's ordering this P3, P4, and P5, as well as My Neighbor Totoro. And the next one is a Dwayne Gregory out of Richland, Washington, and he's getting more of the Orange Road and Maison Ikaku series. We'll have more episodes with more content and more reflections of basically what these fan mails reveal about the history of anime and how they occurred. And basically, I've covered a lot of these topics. Now it's just it's refreshing and you can see for yourself in the mail and the things that other people have commented about. Basically just reinforces what I've been trying to tell you guys and trying to illustrate to you this environment. So this hopefully fills it out better. Basically gives you that that a better picture, I guess you can say, of what it would be like to be an anime fan back in the 90s when we were just getting this anime thing started. All right. So again, don't forget to go down below, click like, and subscribe for that, because there will be more. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.